Okay guys, welcome to a Wrestleslam special in association with Sports Matters TV. It is the end of year Rebel County Wrestling show. We're at the Macau Casino, Cork City for a brand new show, and of course a great way to end the year. And yet again we're going into 2024 with a massive bang. We're joined by the former GM and now active on the roster, Billy Bedlam. He's here with us, and Billy, look, what a way to end the year. First of all,
thanks very much.
We've so many questions. Me and Matt are like kids. Phil's on the camera. He wants us to ask questions as well. But listen, it's been a great year, and we just have to mention first of all, it's been a crazy year for you personally. A few setbacks, but look, when it comes to Rebel County Wrestling, it's been on the up, Billy.
Yeah, it's been a great year. I think we did 6 or 7 shows.
Yeah.
We've moved. We retired in the Kino twice. Retired the venue twice. Kicked off the PAV, which was an unbelievable find.
Yeah.
Every show that we've done, I thought, was nearly better than the last one. It's very hard to keep going up and up. I think we've stepped up in our production. It was a crazy year, but it was a great year. You know what I mean? We had some great matches, some great moments, as we talk about. You know, so no, it was. I don't think I set out at the start of 23 knowing we do so much. Yeah. I thought we'd do maybe 4 shows, 5 shows, maybe. That's what I'd set out. Because at the start of the year, I was in hospital for 3 months, or not hospital for 3 months. I was in hospital for surgery.
Yeah.
But I had to take work off for 3 months. So there was even one show, as we just mentioned off camera there, the first show of the year. In fact, I wasn't at it because I got a call to say you're going in for surgery, son.
Yeah.
So I was panicking. I was ringing Jay Money to fucking drive the van and all sorts of. But everyone pulled it together. Funny story that I got a text off Luke Barry, Marion Armstrong, on the Saturday. I'd just come out of hospital. The show was on the Friday, I had surgery on the Friday. Obviously, I was still very heavily medicated. He was like, "Do you know where the turnbuckles are?" I was, for fuck's sake. So obviously, knowing me, I have a very particular place that I put anything, and I store my ring, or my old ring, Fight Factory, and I know where everything is. Like, so me not being there was always a high risk of somebody forgetting something.
Yeah.
Which is very natural. But turnbuckles were in Dublin, and they put the show went down. They covered it up, and you wouldn't even notice. It was just it's just funny. That was the worst thing that happened all year, which it fucking was. Then it's been a great year.
Yeah, it is. And look, like when you went into 2023, Billy, obviously you had an idea of what you wanted to do, because I know the way your brain thinks. You know what I mean. The way you put things together was incredible. But when you look at the whole year now, so we're at the very end, literally the last day of the year. It's like, how would you rate the year for you personally? Has it gone better than expected? Has it gone the way you expected, or?
No, it went better than expected. It went better than expected because it started for the year was a bit choppy. Obviously, I missed the first show, and there was, for a while there, I wasn't too sure whether I was kind of handing off a lot of responsibility to others from a creative perspective. Even there was one point where I pretty much gave him, stop being in charge for one show. But I just didn't, I wasn't overly happy with the way things went, and I don't know, was it ready to be passed on or whatever. Anyway, I now kind of recovered from my health issues. Yeah. So once that happened, really, it was more so while I was recovering, I wasn't in the headspace, and I put a kind of a caretaker in charge. He did a great job, don't get me wrong, because we did 1 or 2 very good shows, but I felt as I got stronger mentally and physically throughout the start of the year. I think the second half of the year, you could definitely see the difference in the shows, even from the production. We really stepped up, and then obviously into the PAV. So it was better than I could have imagined. I know, we finished off the year singing Jingle Bells with Eric Young,
which was
you know what I mean? That's something that you couldn't predict. No. That would happen, and we're going to kick off the year in a very strong start again, but we can talk about that later on. Yeah. But no, it was better than expected. If I'm being very honest, I couldn't have expected it to go any better. How do we top it next year? But look, we're just going to have to try.
We all seem to do it, though. We all seem to do it. Yeah. And we have to mention, look, obviously the RCW roster. So all the people that we've seen wrestle on RCW throughout 2023 has been incredible. Like, I can name. I can name so many people. I'm not going to name too many because obviously I want to name them all. But you look at the likes of Raven Creed, Owen Richards becoming champion. LJ was obviously former champion.
We put 3 belts. We didn't have we no belt system last year. We were doing Grand Prix or kind of style. And that's because I wanted to figure out what direction I wanted to go with
I
it.
remember
But
we were actually pitching like ideas for belts, like just for the laugh, and then you just like actually paused that. So I'm like, no, I'm gonna take those ideas.
yeah,
And
yeah,
here we are.
absolutely, yeah. Well, as I knew we were getting more stable, and I wanted to do this for the long term. It was all kind of okay. We need champions. We need that different. It makes the main event of a show special.
Yeah.
And then you can have your imports, and you can have you can bring in other people to fight for the belts. And make it more special. For example, you mentioned it there, we just talked about LJ Cleary, our first ever champ. That was an unbelievable match with Charlie Sterling and Butch Armstrong. It was up there for one of the matches of the year. It's very hard to pinpoint one match of the year, but I definitely nominate that as one of them.
Yeah.
First time working with Charlie Sterling, won't be the last. He is coming back to us in 2024. But
It was loved in Cork, so.
oh well, as a promoter, I love working with him, dealing with him,
Yeah.
and as a performer, we were talking on the way in here about Michael Maida earlier. I watched Charlie Sterling wrestle Michael Maida rounds match on a Contender show years ago when the Armstrongs were making their OTT debut, and it was one of the best things I've ever seen in my life. It was just pure. It was a rounds match, pure British wrestling, but it was unreal. Anyway, so the match him and LJ had with Butch Armstrong and. Big shout out to Butch Armstrong as well, who had an incredible year.
Great year.
Not just with RCW, but with in Ireland. And he didn't look out of place there in the main event.
No.
Absolutely not with Charlie and LJ. And as you know, LJ went on to Japan. He's currently with Noah.
Which is huge. It just shows, Billy, what way it is going for the Irish wrestlers today. And the opportunities are there because we look at all the wrestlers today on all the rosters across Ireland. They're all good enough to be across the seas, aren't they? That's how strong it is.
The Irish scene is incredible. The amount the wrestlers that we're producing here is our little country. I mean, you can see it right now in WWE. There's Valkyrie, JB McDonough, obviously Sheamus and Becky Lynch before him and Finn Balor.
Yeah.
But like, we know the latter anyway because we've seen them in Irish wrestling throughout the years.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see Finn Balor in Irish wrestling or Sheamus, unfortunately, or Becky, to be quite honest either. She just signed as I was getting into wrestling 10 years ago. But we've worked with LJ and Valkyrie for years, and we can see the talent that they have. And there's others like they're out there as well. I mean, there's an amazing crop of talent coming out of Dublin and Limerick.
Yeah.
We don't have a school in Cork, but that's not to say we don't have some amazing wrestlers too.
Of course.
But like the interest levels and the coaching are especially the Fight Factory are absolute top.
Surreal,
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because everybody came out of the Fight Factory, bar Sheamus, obviously he was Irish Whip, but everybody else had been trained by Phil or had a definite big hand in the initial training, especially of all those people. So and very much the latter with Valkyrie and LJ.
Yeah, and like it's safe to say, like you just mentioned Irish Whip, and it was like I remember watching a documentary on Sheamus years back on RT with that company. So yeah, like Jerry said, like Irish wrestling has just came a long way. Of course, we have like so many like wrestlers that you got to work with closely now, actually making themselves like with other companies like WWE and over Japan. But and of course, you mentioned about we're gonna have like a wrestling school in Cork.
Look at Anita Vaughan there as well. Just as a good example. Sorry to go across you.
Yeah,
she's wrestling all over Europe.
Yeah,
you know, Is she going to be the next breakout star? She's wrestling all over. In Italy, Spain, Poland.
Every time you're on Instagram, wouldn't
Germany,
need that? It's a different country.
Absolutely. Like she's on a European tour right now.
Yeah.
Like she's flying over in Germany as well. And the top. These are top promotions.
Yeah.
It's only a matter of time, I think, before she'll break properly into the UK. So she's already on Eve. So what I mean, I'd love to see her on Progress. I'd love to see those or ICW or something like that. Yeah. She's wrestled Danny Luna here.
Yeah.
And you know, mixing it up, and I'm sure she will mix it up with Rio as well or in the next calendar year.
Yes.
Since I know that I have that particular match booked further down the line. But
we're happy for that.
Yeah, I was because I was going to say, was like, do you see like any Cork-based wrestlers that actually will move on and have like this small little county on their shoulders up? Of course, you mentioned Aoife Val. You mentioned AV yourself.
I'd say AV is probably if you're the next one to. Who could go a lot further than domestic.
Yeah.
There's lots of opportunities for others as well, but like just because I know I at the moment I can see what you can see the direction she's headed. Anyone can see the direction she's headed. I think she's probably the next one that would be to getting at that level of exposure.
Yeah, and like you look at the dedication, like everyone's dedicated, Billy. Yeah. Every single one is dedicated, but she seems to be putting in the extra, I suppose, the extra mile. You know, she's obviously based in Dublin. Every time you're on Instagram, it's a different country. Yeah. She's good for the banter. and you see how far she's come since the first show.
Yeah.
Or
Oh,
the
yeah.
first show, even though I'm in the Circus Factory.
Yeah.
I nervous Anita. I remember like it was one of her
Absolutely,
first shows. You know what I mean? It's it's
But
incredible.
she always had a great promo and a good look, strong, competitive looking in the ring. You know, she has that a good wrestler's look, and she can talk, and she carries herself very professionally in and out of the ring. And her wrestling has come on leaps and bounds over the last few years. She's phenomenal at this point. So you know, whether we're talking about her at this time next year being a breakout star, even further, I'd say probably But
she's in that category. Cork's first ever. Like we look at all the wrestlers over the years. Like we mentioned Valkyrie, you know, JD McDonough, but for Cork. Potentially, she's in that bracket, no doubt, to be Cork's first WWE star.
Yep, absolutely.
And that's how powerful it's gone. So, like, for anyone that's watching, that's coming up the ranks, or that wants to get into wrestling, it's the opportunities are there.
Absolutely, they are there. I've often seen the indie stars of today are tomorrow's heroes. You know, and everybody wrestles in a gym, or everybody wrestles in a Circus Factory type, or in a PAV, or you know, anyone to make it, they have to start somewhere. Like so,
of course.
Support your local wrestling.
100%. No, exactly. We have to speak of the PAV. It's the new venue, the new home of RCW.
Yeah.
It's a venue I've always loved,
Yeah.
and it's been immense. You know, we speak of 2 shows. You know, we had Eric Young, obviously in a great match with Owen Richards. A great Christmas night. I think it was. You know, we got to wear Christmas jumpers. The field vibe was incredible.
You got to wear Christmas jumpers. I was just a cool guy. Just,
he was the cool guy.
There's always one cool guy, isn't there?
But is it fair to say, Billy, you found your venue, you love this venue, and look, you can see and you can vision a long future for this venue?
Absolutely. I mean, the Kino has served us well over the years, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Kino is not a wrestler's venue.
Yeah.
There is no backstage area. There is no where you could, and we were able to make do for quite a while. But now as we're expanding, we're getting bigger. Yeah. Locker rooms are bigger, more international stars and whatnot. And look, we kind of outgrew it, and that's in a good way.
Yeah.
And I think the relationship we have with the PAV now, the way they're so open to us and the culture of wrestling, and the way they've embraced us, and the way they deal with us in such a professional manner, I couldn't be happier with it. Yeah. We've signed 6 shows for the year. There might be a 7th thrown in there at some point during the summer. I just haven't figured that one out yet. Yeah. Or we might do a bigger one somewhere else. But yeah, no, from our bread and butter in the PAV, that's going to be the way going forward. Unless they end up closing, which I don't think they will. And we're not going anywhere either. So it's been a great venue. I mean, you could we did when I went in there for a meeting, I had Eric Young in my back pocket. Yeah. Needed to find a good venue for him, but I pitched in December on a Friday. Not too happy doing Fridays, but you have to just get the venue whenever you get the venue. Look, our next 2 shows are Fridays because they couldn't get the PAV on a Saturday until June. Obviously Good Friday aside, I love Good Friday. Yes. But we'll always do Good Friday. Yeah. But so the next show in February is again it's a Friday. However, the first show was kind of a tester show, and you could even it was a tester show because if you look at the 2 shows back to back. The wrestling was on point and brilliant both shows. Production wasn't good on the first show. That's my fault because we didn't know where to put a camera. You didn't know what it would look like until you see it back out the other side. Yeah.
You were testing the waters. Yeah,
and we actually didn't have Roman cams as well the first day, which we kind of knew was going to hurt us in our production of the whole show. But I think you'll see, and even I watched the last show back and was like, okay, well, we need to make some more tweaks. But overall, I'm extremely happy the way the PAV looks. The way the PAV feels, the way we're able to set the show up, where we had different levels of seating. You know, we have the floor seating now where we didn't have that the first show, and you could see back it's too much of a gap. The tables, we're kind of going to get rid of the tables. You know, it might have been a good idea, but maybe not very feasible. Getting more punters up on the stage. Yeah. And the cameras obviously were on point. Other than that, you know, it felt like one of the biggest shows we've ever did with Eric Young, in fairness.
Yeah, I'll always miss the Kino, but like you said, it wasn't an ideal wrestling event, but you actually made a wrestling show, but you made it work.
We had some great nights in the Kino. Yeah. With Phoenix before RCW, in fairness, and even the last 2 shows we put on the Kino, it was nearly a pity we were going because especially the last show, I thought it looked better than the previous 4 or 5 because they changed the setup in there again with just the lighting and stuff. And painted the walls and whatnot, a little bit darker, so that kind of suits wrestling. Yeah. But then you come into the PAV and you're like, wow,
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Phil mentioned this before, but you get like a bit of like an ECW vibe, like the ballroom area, and like so
It's louder as
Yeah.
well because the Kino, you're playing to one side of the ring all the time. Where in the PAV you are playing to different sides of the ring,
Yeah.
and the noise doesn't go anywhere. The roof, if we're exactly,
Yeah. It's
exactly.
beautiful.
But in the Kino, sometimes the noise kind of travel out the back door,
Yeah.
because that used to be open because we used to come in or out the back door, or out the noise is kind of sometimes it's very quiet.
Yeah.
But the way it's set up, all the kind of the middle shelf or the top shelf, they're the people standing. They're always the louder people anyway.
Yeah.
And they're right there looking down top of the ring, so they're right in there with the action, rather than being at the back. We're at the Kino, and it's harder for the noise to travel to pick up on cameras and everything. So the PAV is a perfect venue for us.
100%.
Yeah, definitely.
And we mentioned the Kino. Obviously, people can still hear noises in the Kino.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard stories of people passing the Kino and they go, and they can hear the moves and stuff. It's credit where it's due to the Kino. But look, you look at the PAV, and it's game changing. And I love the venue. I think it's very sexy. It's got that red vibe, the ECW vibe, as Phil says. I agree 100%. And yet again, Eric Young, you know what I mean? One of the most recognised wrestlers in all of the world, and he was there and had a great match with Owen Richards. And Owen Richards had his work cut out, but you know what I mean? That's where RCW is going. When you could bring people like this to Cork,
And
it's game changing.
and real quick, we were talking to Eric Young at the meet and greet. He was talking about finding the perfect Guinness and testing like the different potatoes in Ireland. So he really did.
He likes it.
Yeah.
He does.
To be fair, we will see Eric Young back in an RCW ring, I'd imagine. If he's back on tour, he said he 100%.
Yeah.
Because we welcomed him in. He did a good seminar in the Fight Factory. He had a great match. He enjoyed the vibe in Cork. So all going well. We'll see him again at some point. Maybe this year, maybe the year after. Who knows?
Yeah.
But let's talk about Owen Richards for a moment. After he won the belt in the Kino, in a bit of a shock, I suppose, cashing in.
Yeah.
But like he's had two unbelievable title defenses there against Robbie X and Eric Young. Two very different matches.
Yeah.
I know we spoke to him in here prior to I think it was the Robbie X match.
It was,
Yeah.
big media day.
And so he takes those challenges very seriously. He's gearing himself up for his next challenge, which I'll tell you about in a moment.
Oof.
But I mean, they're very different matches. They're very different main events, and I think he stepped up to LJ Cleary has moved on. I think Owen Richards and Andy Steele and a few others have stepped up to the top tier of Irish wrestling.
Great.
And they're the ones that you'll see all over the place now. You have to see them on OT. I know they had one match on OTT. You've got to see them more often at that level, because that's the level they're at now. But it's a pleasure to have him as our champ, even though he's a pain in the hole.
But I'm glad you said that, because to have someone like Owen Richards as the RCW champion, it must be a relief. You know what I mean? He's such a good presence, such a big character. He's well over in Ireland, as we know. He's just
super professional too, like, and everything. He has a great look. He has the right. He has the right idea. He gets the memo about what a champion should be. Comes down here, does a media day.
Yeah.
He puts in that extra effort. See the promos as well that they produce. Like,
the last one, he was in bed and the alarm went off, and the way he wakes up, it's like, boom.
Yeah.
The shivers in my back. I'm like,
that was excellent.
That's how to build up like a proper like a big deal.
Like,
shit.
Man, he's our champion. I'm like, I'm all for that. Like,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And not long may he reign, as you know. So we'll see. So we'll just, before we go back in and talk about more of the 2023 stuff. So it's not been announced officially yet, but I don't mind sharing with you guys, right? So, and you don't tag him yet, because again, I can't.
We won't tag anyone.
But like, if people, whoever's watching this, you can. Obviously, you're going to hear it. But we're bringing in Moose. We're bringing in Moose in February.
Look at Phil's face.
Phil, jump in the camera and look at your face.
Fucking hell.
He's coming
So
off.
that's your main event.
God.
Moose and Owen Richards for the RCW.
Yeah, we only had him on was it last year? Yeah, via Impact.
Oh my god.
Hell, man.
Yeah.
He's gonna remember us. It's like good time. Nice one.
That's the motherfuckers right there. Oh, that is huge.
Yeah, it's a big match.
Boy,
So I'm waiting for the all clear.
Oh, yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man.
We were just waiting for the all clear from Gary Ward, who we work with quite a lot in the UK, as his agent, just to give us the all clear. But we have him booked. He's been doing a seminar in Titanic on the Thursday, and then coming down to us on
Jesus Christ.
Friday.
And we were because fuck, who's the star? And we were mentioning names, like, we're like, fuck, it's maybe someone from Impact, maybe. Man, that's huge. I'm
No,
gobsmacked. I'm not
lad.
just saying it because I'm
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
gobsmacked. That is
This
a big deal.
This
That
is
is
the more,
a huge
this
deal.
is the like not a big deal, like
man.
a huge deal, huge one. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god, nice one, Billy.
Yeah, well, I mean, look,
Ah.
and no one's never off the cards when it comes to who you're trying to book.
Yeah.
And
Gosh.
not every show now is going to have a big star, like in fairness, because that's
Yeah.
not feasible. But I'll do as best. If someone's around, if someone's touring, I get the call or I get a text off somebody interested in that. Like
Yeah.
there was other people I was looking at. Enzo Mora was somebody I just didn't. The dates didn't line up.
Yeah.
But he was somebody I was offered as well, and I would have taken him if I had a show on when he was free, but he wasn't.
You know he has an Irish passport, yeah? You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
he's
yeah.
we
I
fucking
think
a
it's
man
one
for
of
the
the-
sour.
He was very clear in one of the
Yeah.
episode we had him
We-
on.
we
All
did a
that.
recording with him, like, yeah, yeah.
There
just
is
put him on
Cork. There is a Cork.
Oh yeah, Irish connection. He
Yeah.
he
Ross
was
Common
over,
and-
yeah,
and
yeah, and
Cork.
Cork as well, yeah.
So if he just happened to be around with his Irish passport, coming in,
can't
that's it.
teach
Yeah.
that.
Absolutely, yeah, no, and I'd be a big fan of it back in the day of
Yeah.
the boys as well. So look,
Yeah. So he might be on the agenda next year if it does come about.
if
I
he's
should
around,
say.
yeah, as I say, anyone's around. There was some people are a bit, maybe I won't say overpriced for me, like, but I mean,
Yeah.
they would be a bit pricey for the kind of venue we're holding at the moment.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Look, it is what it is. We'll always,
Yeah.
I'll take the decision on that every time we get off.
I mean, I
Not
always-
going into much. Sorry, no, not going into. Is teams negotiable in the wrestling world? Is it just
No.
No. So there you go. It's the
No.
price and that's it. Like,
It's the price, and that's fair
Yeah,
enough.
yeah.
I mean, myself and Eric Young had a good chat about that. Actually, he was. I thought his price was very reasonable for who he is,
yeah,
and we were just chatting. We were just playing out, having a chat, and I was like, if the price was too expensive, Mason, we wouldn't have the conversation. He was like, I know. So it was a good chat, to, you know.
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
like, he said he really likes what we're doing,
Yeah.
likes the venue, likes the vibe, and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Because I was always thinking, was just going to say, was like, it's always good to have like a list of like possible wrestlers, possible like faces coming in, because that's a little bit of motivation, even
Yeah.
if it's not going to go well.
Yeah, yeah.
At least that would be something that you can
Well,
still
we're building
think
a
of.
brand here too, right?
Yeah.
And it's more or less when you kind of peel back and look at the business behind it.
Yeah.
You look at the ticket prices, you look at the capacity, you look at the rest of the card, and then you kind of go, okay, well, can you rationale maybe over 2 or 3 shows bringing in somebody big,
Yeah.
and then maybe the next show or two stick to more Irish or the UK
Yeah,
guys, and then because it's at the end of the day it's a business, right? You've got to
Yeah,
make money,
of course.
or you can certainly not lose money. But there's a balancing act as well about investing in your own company because you're
Yeah.
trying to build a brand.
Yeah.
So when I'm looking back and I'm putting out single matches, which I will be over the next few weeks while we're looking for content,
Yeah.
you know, when you're putting out the likes of Eric Young, when you're putting out the likes of Moose, and when you're putting out Charlie Sterling's of the world, and whoever else we're going to be bringing in, Rio, you know, current progress in ICW champ, you know, you're getting to, people are, heads are turning, you know, my inbox is blowing up a lot more now than it was this time last year, with wrestlers looking to, Irish wrestlers from the UK, Wales, looking to work with us, you know, because we're getting noticed more and more.
Yeah.
And that's how we build our brand. So there's the margin about investing in the company and then kind of doing a balancing act over a couple of shows.
Yeah. I'm gobsmacked. I'm still thinking
Yeah.
moves. But like, you know, it's just good because
I was pretty happy with that one, right?
Yeah.
it's very important. That's what I'm saying, because like the reason I asked that question was because, as you say, when you look at brands, like you look at the major brands, they obviously have fucking budgets that they don't even look at them. But it's good that wrestlers will say, right, look, these guys are they're trying to build a brand, and they'll want to work and try and make it work for you.
Yeah.
And that's important.
It is, yeah.
I think, you know what I mean. It's
is.
very important.
No, it is, yeah, it is. And everybody wants to work for the cool kids, like, and
Yeah,
but everybody
yeah.
wants to work too for where they're going to get good matches, a good exposure, a good production.
Yeah.
I'd be open to, like, I like to use a set enough roster, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then kind of rotate it. So for what's different from last year going into this year is I'm kind of probably going to lessen the matches on the card by 1
Yeah.
and give people a little bit more breathing time during matches.
Yeah.
So instead of having 7 matches / 8 matches with a segment, do you know, I mean, because then suddenly you're fucking time pressure and you're running a race, and whereas,
Yeah.
okay, let's have 6 matches, everyone got a chance to breathe, you can do a little bit more, and it's better for the main event as well. But then you have to make sure that you're rotating people in and out properly. Obviously, you've got your very, very, very core that'll be on every show. But if everybody's going to be on every single show, the fans are going to see the same matches all the time.
Yeah.
That's not interesting.
Yeah.
So that's why you have to make it interesting. That's the challenge I have, rotating people in. No, I like that challenge though.
Yeah.
If
You're
I have
good
the
at
first-
that challenge. You're
Thank
good
you
at
very
it.
much. I have the first 3 cards booked for the year anyway, so I'm done up to June.
Sweet.
And I just don't. I might pull the trigger on a bigger show in June. Or sorry, not June. At some point in the summer. So that's why I've kind of held off for now. until I.
I'm looking in your eyes there.
Yeah.
I'm getting all these visions. I'm like, Marky, fucking, you know what I mean? Something
Maybe
big.
not that big, though, to be
No,
fair.
but I said like a
Billy, your
Marky
head is
event, like, you know.
extending. Big head you're getting right now. After saying that.
Yeah.
See, I mean, there's a few venues there I'm looking at. There's a few venues I'm looking at. We can talk about them off air, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's about getting the right one or two draws in, because they'll. How do you go from 200 people to 600 people?
Yeah.
To which?
The Procol Hall, yeah.
Procol Hall is good, but it would be it wouldn't be what I'm after.
Yeah.
I mean, there's loads of venues out there that are big gyms. You know what I mean? And that's not what I'm after for.
Yeah.
For if I want to do something special, I say not no.
Yeah.
No.
But there's obviously the opportunity as well. I know, like,
Well, I have something secured. I just need. I'm not trying to tell anyone. And
we're trying to get everything out, guys.
I
We're
just-
trying, guys, but he's solid.
I know,
He's
but
solid.
we need to make sure we have the one or two wrestlers that I want as well.
Yeah.
Because it'll be an all ages show, and you need to make sure you have a 6 months run up to fill it.
Of course.
Um,
Yeah.
And whatnot. So we'll see.
Yeah, but you're all for collaborations as well, in the sense of with the right people. Like, so these ideas can work elsewhere too, which is great for the wrestling fan in Ireland.
Yeah,
Doesn't
yeah,
just
yeah.
have to be Cork, although we want Cork.
Yeah.
But there is opportunities
Oh
elsewhere.
no, it'll be Cork. It'll be
There you
definitely
go.
Cork.
There you go.
But
That's clarified.
We're doing obviously we're going to be doing a lot more family shows. So myself and Fight Factory, Top Collaboration, have formed Irish Wrestling Alliance (IWA). We've done 2 shows. We just kind of did it for my show, and we did a show in Ballyfermot. But I'd say we're probably looking to do maybe 20 shows next year just with IWA. Like, we'll do Fermoy again twice next year. We'll do Longford twice. You'll do Kildare twice.
Yeah.
The Ballyfermot twice. That's 8 shows just before we go do nothing else.
Yeah.
And we're obviously, I have a couple of other places. I've Tiptown. I've Kerry.
Yeah.
We have Port There's a couple, maybe Bray, that type of thing.
Yeah.
There's loads of other places we're going to try, different towns, Galway, Waterford. If you get a good draw, you know, you go back there twice a year.
Of course.
Suddenly you're building up.
Yeah.
Suddenly there's an awful lot of shows. But like for me, what I want to do is I want to make sure Middleton, Fermoy, Cove, Mallow, Charleville, the big towns, right?
Yeah.
Big towns are getting wrestling twice a year because they're my bread and butter for the future.
Yeah.
If I want to be doing Neptune in the next 4 or 5 years at any point, because you can't just go and book Neptune and go up and
Sure,
hope
yeah.
that
Yeah.
people from all around the country come, because that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You have to build up your local scene in Cork, so and the surrounding big towns around Munster. But you'll see a big focus now on Middleton is somebody I was about to run, and then the floods happened, so I left them on.
Yeah.
Talked Mallow, Charleville, the big towns, like, you know.
Yeah.
And if you do start doing them twice a year, you suddenly start getting obviously I'm looking at out in the bars, do one north side, south side, the Glen.
Maybe Glenmire,
that'll be your not the Procol Hall, but that'll be that type of vibe in IWA, you know.
Yeah, and I was just
Glenmire's too small.
I was just gonna say, if you're looking at a place like y'all, come on down. I'll just invite you for a coffee and whatnot.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
There you go,
But that is fundamental, though. But it is fundamental.
Bash by the beach.
Yeah, that
IWA.
do that.
Bash
Yeah.
Hall, yeah.
But I mean, even if you're like we'd 90 people, in Fermoy first go, right?
Yeah.
That was for a town we never done before. That's not bad.
Yeah.
You build that up, like, and I was the turning on the Christmas lights and everything the same night.
Yeah.
If I'm only looking to start acorns and oak trees and all that, you start doing 50, 60, 70, 80 people.
Yeah.
If some of them if they all come the next day, and maybe bring someone else or tell someone else about it. You build it up slowly over a period of time. Like it's not something that's going to be cracked overnight. It'll take hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder to promote family events in towns regionally than it is to do the PAV, because it's only on social media. There's no posters go up. I haven't posted in years.
Yeah, geez, I remember I used to take them. I used to collect them.
Yeah.
Fuck, give us a poster.
Yeah. No, there's no
Fucking
posters,
posters.
but I might start doing that around town now.
Yeah.
It's a bit more digital, but anyway.
Yeah, but that's more of a town thing, as you say. As you say, I remember years ago you go to a town and you see like a fuck Seamus, Irish Whip Wrestling. I
You
remember,
have to do it, like.
and you'd see it like
You have to do it.
You know what I mean?
We did it in Longford, we did it in Kildare. Well,
Yeah.
I didn't. I did it in Longford. Justy and Debbie did a phenomenal job in Kildare.
Yeah.
But myself and LJ and CBL and Michael May. I think Fabio Martin was last of us went up postering one day. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And,
it's fun, isn't it?
it is good crack.
Yeah.
It is good crack. But
The towns are mighty crack as well. Like as you said, the people you meet,
they're fun shows.
the chippers, the bears, the fucking.
They're fun shows because you just we're all slagging each other and you're throwing together matches that have never happened before, and you can change your gimmicks and it's good crack, like.
And
Yeah.
you get to interact with the Guardians, and that's actually kind of like more better, like to make more great crack.
Yeah. But that's for next year now. But as I said, look, we touched on it this year we did Ballyformit and we did Fermoy. They were good. They were good successes.
Good crack. It just goes to show what's ahead, and look, it's a win-win for wrestlers, Billy, because you look at the wrestlers today, they fucking have a show every week now.
Yeah.
Where, as you remember, many years ago, you do once a month if you were lucky. Now there's so many shows. They're so active. They're in the spotlight all the time. You've got all these media outlets now on board.
Yeah.
There's something happening left, right, and centre. It's great for wrestling there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know?
There's a fine line, I think, between oversaturation and where we are now.
Yeah.
And I think we're not at that level yet where we're oversaturating.
Yeah.
I think for me anyway, personally in Cork, 6 is a good number. 7 is better.
Yeah.
For shows, because it gives me a bit of a breather as well.
Yeah.
In between shows, I can do some IWA stuff, which is a bit of crack. There's not enough much pressure. But and then like obviously all the workers, they're all over the place. Fight Factory, they'd be up in fucking Hard Knocks. They're over up Titanic.
Yeah.
I'd be up Titanic myself. OTT and then all over Europe as well. So there's we're in a great place. We're in a great place. You know?
I love it.
Yeah, I love it. And it is actually great to see like RCW is definitely coming a long way. Like you said, building a brand and like the town you actually mentioning going into it.
Yeah.
You're gonna have like more people not just coming down to RCW to check it out, but Cork in general. Like
Yeah.
that's actually a good way to actually get Cork notice and RCW notice at the same time. I always thought. Like,
Well, we're asked all the time about doing family shows, and we tried some in the Kino as kind of matinees, but it just didn't work.
Yeah.
And on a show like that, on a day like that, my concentration is on the night time.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not concentrating. I don't care who's there during the day. So you're not giving it your full. You're not giving it your full your full attention either, and that's not fair
Yeah.
on the wrestlers or the people that are coming to the show. So I was like, okay, we need to separate these. Plus, it's an extremely long day
It's
for
just-
everybody.
it's
involved.
just-
If you're wrestling twice and you're refereeing about fucking 100 matches,
Yeah.
poor old the poor ref, Joseph Terrell. But it's a long old day. So I think the way we're splitting now, and who knows, maybe they're the day after the RCW show. Or whatever, we'll double them up. But it's good times. It's good times.
Yeah, and like it's in a good place. Again, what a year it's been. And we mentioned, you know what I mean. The year in general has been incredible. There was so much happened. Like for me, I don't pinpoint too much, but like the X Division Championship being announced first of all was beautiful. And when I hear X Division Championship, obviously we know Fabio is champion, but we look at the likes of Matt Schuyler, Raren O'Connor. Raven Creed, there's so many people. Martin Sturz is a guy you can mention.
Yeah.
We look at all these people. Like I think that was a great introduction to RCW, and I think it's been very beneficial.
Yeah, I was waiting for the Pav to do it, to be fair, because I wanted to kind of kick off something different and something kind of the first match in the show is for the Rebel X Division, and to be fair, Fabio is the poster boy for it right now, but that's he's got his work cut out in February, but we've had 2 incredible matches.
Yeah.
And that's what I want. I want high octane, fast pace. You'll see a lot of different you'll see that of different wrestlers coming in and out into that division.
Yeah.
It's going to be stacked.
Yeah.
It's going to be absolutely stacked. Not just wrestlers from Cork. There's wrestlers from all over Europe going to be coming in next year for that.
Unbelievable.
It's a good concept, I think. Myself and Martin Steers and Matt Schuyler and Dean had the first match. It was incredible. And you know, Raren O'Connor wasn't out of place when he went in there either at the last day. So
Yeah.
it's exactly what I wanted, to be fair. I am delighted with even everything from the belt design to the showcase we have for the Rebel X division. Now, that next year at some point we will have a Rebel X match with the X.
I can see that with the matching with the Pav ceiling and everything.
Yeah. It will be class. Like
That'd be
we will probably the second half of the year. First, here's another exclusive. We haven't announced it yet, but Fabio will defend his belt against Robbie X and Danny Cross in a triple threat match.
Wow,
Triple threat match in February. Yeah. So that's a tasty one as well.
Yeah, I had a chance to interview Robbie X, and when I was chatting to him, you can just feel the determination from him, his motivation. So I'm looking forward to see what he actually does.
Yeah, another guy we brought in this year, and he's probably the best unsigned talent out there.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. He's unbelievable. And he's just. But he's a great guy as well to deal with, and he's great to have around the place. But fucking hell, the speed of him.
But I watched the way he warms up, and I won't go into too much detail because I don't want to spoil stuff for the fans. But when he warms up, the shit he's fucking doing.
Yeah, well,
This
he
is
did
like
a moonsault off the bar.
Yeah.
He did a moonsault off the bar in the pub, like.
Most people do like stretches and like cardio. Not Robbie X, just straight up
yeah.
flips. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
But he's an athlete and a half, in fairness, and like he's all over the place. He'll be signed.
Yeah.
We might as well use him now where we have him.
Yeah, he's definitely he's gone next year.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
Of course, you now have Danny Cross as well. He's always there.
Danny's been up and down to Cork loads of times, and he's wrestling RCW as well. I think the last time we saw him was late in Buzzard, if I'm not too much mistaken.
Yeah.
I think it's I will 100% guarantee you're never going to get the Rebel X division matches the same.
Yeah.
So we've had a couple of 4 ways, now we're going to 3 ways. We already have somebody else that wasn't in there before. So, like, what I mean is the champion will never be able to rest on his laurels because he'll always have to defend that belt against whoever the champ is. Right now it's Fabio against different opponents and different style matches all the time.
Yeah.
Because that's why we'll keep that fresh all the time. You know. So we'll see how it goes.
I love it. And we have to mention, obviously, tag team championships. There's been many highlights in the air for me, but I have to mention this, right? Obviously, Debbie, Gene and Jay Money, more money, more problems.
Yeah.
What an introduction. And I'm not just trying to be biased, but I've absolutely loved. We've seen him twice now.
Be biased.
And I've just loved the entrance. The first night was incredible. Second night was incredible. You're onto something huge there, I believe.
I think so. I think we're onto something amazing with those 3.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Debbie wasn't able to make the last show, but that's okay. That's why there are trios. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll be singles, but sometimes it'll be trios, sometimes it'll be tag. But they are an amazing 3 people to be around, in fairness, and I've so much time for all 3 of them. Obviously, long history with Debbie Keitel going back to Phoenix for the Emperor's title.
Yeah.
Myself and Jay Money are pretty good pals in and outside the ring. We've wrestled with each other, we've tagged with each other, but we're pretty good pals outside as well. And Gene Money has been a mainstay, really.
Great guy.
Even with the back end of Phoenix. So, yeah, I think you're going to see some amazing things from them next year.
Yeah.
However, right now, Bearded Beauties are the tag team champions.
They are. And good champions at that.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what way they cement their legacy as RCW tag team champions. So, I won't give any more matches away now, but I think you'll see something cool going on with the Bearded Beauties over the next while as well.
Yeah, and we need to clarify little rumors about the tag team titles. Like we're not saying that myself and Jerry will put our names in the pile with all the great tag teams, but never say never, right, lad?
Yeah,
Never
well,
say never. Never say never. Listen, we have to mention, obviously you had a role of GM, which you've done a fantastic job, and obviously, great mic skills. I always say you know to get the crowd going, but you're going to be active on the roster 2024, and that's something that looked very, 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 very unlikely in 2023 when you said what was happening and stuff. We thought you'd never wrestle again, so it must be a lot of weight off the shoulders. You obviously went unfinished business. Fans want to see you wrestle.
Yeah.
Do you reckon you'll be fairly active next year?
We'll see. Honest to God, I didn't think I'd ever wrestle again.
Yeah.
I've had stomach problems for my entire life, really, right? But when I was told I needed surgery, it was a pretty hefty operation. I was kind of looking for a way out, I think, rather than the surgeon did recommend I wouldn't wrestle again. But I was probably looking for a way out more so than rather he was telling me, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I think mentally, more so than anything, I checked out. Because I remember, I don't think I told too many people this, but I remember myself and Butch Armstrong's last title defense when we lost the belt. I didn't even want to go into the ring.
Yeah.
I was afraid of my life. And when you're in that mental space that you're afraid to get into to wrestle, you're afraid to get injured.
Yeah.
Just fucking don't be in the ring.
Yeah.
Because you're going to hurt yourself or hurt somebody else, and it was pure fear. I don't know. I never felt it before. I don't know why it happened, but that's where I was. So I was kind of, I was happy enough to kind of get the news. Obviously, I was happy to get my problems fixed.
Yeah.
But I was happy enough in my own to go, look, I'm not wrestling anymore.
Yeah.
Medical advice, blah blah blah. So then you fast forward and you go through your surgery and you sit in the sideline for 3 months out of work and never have my real job, and it's a lot of recovery time, a lot of time to think.
Yeah.
You get back into a good mental space with wrestling.
Yeah.
Things start going really well again with as GM in RCW.
Yeah.
Strength to strength. Then you start thinking about yourself can get selfish again. You start thinking about yourself. And I'm back in the gym, and I'm making a very good recovery from surgery.
Yeah.
And I've seen specialists again, and I've seen the surgeon again, and he signed me off. He was like, I didn't think the surgery would go that well.
Yeah.
And like then you start thinking, fuck it, you know, maybe I could. And then you're like, I've gotten the medical advice, and he was like, look, I think you can live life to the fullest. There shouldn't be any roadblocks at all, and resting included.
Yeah.
So then it's about whether I have the capacity to do it, if you know what I mean. Whether I want to do it again.
You're looking great. Do you know what I mean?
I've started to do a bit of training.
Yeah.
I've actually I had a match, a tag match with Butch Armstrong at Titanic recently.
Yeah.
That's when I knew. That's when I knew really that okay, I want to do this because it was nearly a year to the day since I had that nearly meltdown before I went out.
Yeah.
I won't say that I had the greatest match of all time. I didn't even do an awful lot. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is what I drew from being in the ring, the confidence I got, just the joy I got from wrestling that day. I just all came back to me.
Yeah.
This is what I want to do. So, what am I going to do next year? Well, I definitely won't be wrestling in February because I'm not ready. However, I do want to do 2 or 3 matches next year in RCW.
Yeah.
I'll take whatever else comes my way. I'm going to get into good shape. I'm going to get ring ready. I've already started to train in the Fight Factory.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely we get there. And I'd say you'll see me in the ring before the summer.
That's all we wanted to hear. We're happy, but like,
yeah.
Billy, is it fair to say when you were wrestling prior to the operation, you were going through you were fucking obviously broke up afterwards, yeah? Obviously there was you couldn't reach your full potential. Obviously, look, you mentioned certain things. Obviously, you couldn't reach your full potential. Obviously, with all that going on.
Well, what's full potential when you start wrestling at 35 too? You know, I mean, from an athletic perspective, I can't train like a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
I don't want to train like a 20-year-old. But like, you can only get to a certain level when you start that age. Now, I've kept myself in reasonable shape all my life because I played soccer till 38, played hurling till 30.
Yeah.
So I'm not just coming off the couch getting into wrestling ring. But like, I think I've had good innings for my age and for my ability, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I'm not done yet, and I'm hoping that I can be retrained in a certain style that'll be different to the last time I was in the ring. And I'm hoping that'll be a notable difference as well. So we'll see how it goes. You never say never for anything, boy. But I just want to take it one step at a time. Just have my first match back, see how I feel. Yeah. It's the recovery as well. You can't recover as fast. I'm 45 during the summer. Not making an excuse because if I can't go, I won't go. I'm not gonna put myself in a ring unless I'm fully able to be in there at a certain level. And I've left that decision to somebody else actually. Who's going to train me? So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So no.
Matt, we'll take that, man.
I mean, that's it.
I will be nearly crying coming out to the.
We all will.
I mean, can you just hear Zombie playing and have everyone tuning in?
I've heard it a million times, to be honest with you, and I've nearly gotten emotional every time because it'll be such a release of emotion to be back and to just fucking knowing that you want to be there rather than being there and just going through the motions and being afraid to be there. It's like this is fucking because you only have there's only certain length of time you'll be able to do these things, you know, and no one well able to fuck it, let's go.
Life's too short, you know.
Exactly.
You have to enjoy it, and the PAV is it's an iconic venue in Cork. You know, you can mention the PAV City Hall. There's all these places, but to do it in your own hometown,
I think so,
in front of your friends and your family and fans in general.
Yeah.
And we'll fucking take that. Of course we're going to take it.
Watch the space.
Watch the space.
Yeah.
Watch the space. I know you have a few questions. You want to say a few things, obviously.
I mean, a few questions, but of course, now this is exactly the last day of the year of the year of 2023. But this has been a great year for RCW. We already said it, but can you think of at least this is an on-the-spot question now, Billy? At least one pinpoint of 2023 that you're actually proud of, highlight of RCW.
Yeah, 100%. I was thinking about that on the way down in the car. I think it would be remiss if we didn't mention Raven Creed and Reardon O'Connor.
Yeah.
They for the consistency they had with 3 matches, and they topped it every single time.
Yeah.
Whatever. I joked when I was on the microphone. I'm not Dave Meltzer, but that's a fucking 5 out of 5. That's a 5-star match. Yeah. I mean, you can't get better than that, in my opinion. Especially the one in the PAV. I was so happy with him. I don't think the cameras didn't do the fucking match justice, to be fair, because we missed a bit of it because we didn't have the Roma cams. But I was there at ringside and I know what I saw, and it was one of the best things I've ever seen. Raven Creed is an absolute fucking unit. like she prepared herself so well for those trios of matches. So did Reardon O'Connor. From a promo perspective, it was on the money. From a wrestling perspective, from a storytelling perspective, it was just perfect. I couldn't give them any feedback on that. Only it was actually just thank you so much.
Yeah.
I think the highlight of the year. There's been loads of them. Like we talk about LJ winning the belt. You talk about the Rebel X division. You talk about the Bearded Beauties. All of that was really good. Eric Young obviously is a massive highlight. But just because I know Raven Creed since day one, pretty much. And just watching her and Reardon O'Connor put on at 3 clinics, one in the Kino, 2 in the Kino, sorry, and then 1 in the PAV, was unbelievable.
Yeah, and it was best 2 out of 3, but you all know Raven at this point. Do you think she has a bit of unfinished business with Raven?
Well, yeah, I think that's a silly question. We don't know Raven, so I think she does have unfinished business. I'm sure we'll see them 2 lock up.
And with Seshma next year. The last show, obviously, there was a bit of beef there. Like, Seshma is one of the most respected wrestlers in Ireland, not just in Ireland, in Europe.
International,
You can see the respect straight away from Seshma to Raven. She knows her hands are full.
Oh, her hands are very full. Both their hands are full. I mean, these 2 are gonna go at it like hard and fast,
Yeah.
Like, this will be my 3rd time booking the match, and it hasn't happened yet, so we think it's jinxed. But I'm hopefully, and we have announced this one already for Respect My Third Hat.
Yeah.
So hopefully they both make it. I'm sure they will. I know Karen or Seshman's making a good recovery as well.
Yeah.
And I know Raven is gearing up for it. So the 7 deadly sins, but it wasn't a bad replacement to have Rio in our back pocket.
Man. And we rarely ever, not that we don't grab pictures, we love all that shit, but it's just, we had to grab Rio the minute she came out. Fucking we get the picture, she's so about her, you know what I mean? I think obviously, you know what I mean. She's just it just goes to show what could Italian again are coming to Cork. They want to come to Cork. They all want to be part of RCW. But man, oh man, it's fucking.
She's a great find.
Oh.
To be fair, I've always known. I obviously knew who she was. Be silly not to know who these people are.
Yeah.
But I saw her wrestle in Barcelona during the summer, or not just in September. I was over there on my holidays, and I just Martin Steers and Fabio just happened to be wrestling 15 minutes down the road. So I said, "I'm there." And Rio was wrestling. Somebody there that night. And I was just like, right, she's amazing. And I contacted Gene Money, actually. It was like, because I do you know what? I always kind of double check with people I know about who people are or whatever, because I want to bring the right type of person into the locker room.
Yeah.
And Gene was like, sure, she's an absolute star and lovely person to deal with. And, he was right. So we'll see Rio back as well. Multiple look at the times throughout next year.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
fans.
And bring those belts with you, because we have a couple of people.
Please.
We have a couple of people here that would love a crack off the Progress title or the ICW title.
Please bring them.
Because we've done that in the past, where DCT defended the ICW title in the PAV, and I know in CCW days, Pastor William Ever defended the Progress title. So I'd be open to having a chat with those promotions.
What's the story with getting the belts through the airport? To be honest, curious. Did they have to fucking try and stop it, or obviously you tell them who you were and stuff, you know what I mean? No.
I don't know.
Bad, you know what I mean?
I'd say it's just when, I've never had to bring my belt through the airport because I was only going up to Titanic. But
still, through the fucking border.
Or I'd say they just throw them into the bag,
Yeah.
I think the big show where they have to wear, where they in WCW, where they ribbed them, that he had to wear the belt.
Oh,
You have to wear the belt through the airport, brother.
I think all I can think of is inside the ropes sort of Chris Jericho saying he was going to the airport and he got his bags checked in. This is when he was the undisputed world champion. So he's like, "What's in your bag?" He's like, "A shaving cream, toothbrushes, and 2 world wrestling titles." So I always felt like that.
Yeah. Well, that's not a bad boss. You'd be hoping your bag would be searched in that regard. But I know. But all jokes aside, she was a great find as well. A good addition to the locker room, and
see a lot more.
we'll see her. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Future. She's got some future. That's for sure.
Another one that I would imagine might as well use her while she's available.
There's so many names. So I think every time we're doing a show, more and more names will be mentioned for we're gonna have to keep a hold of them for as long as we can because they're gone. But it's
well, we've some more lined up. I know we're reviewing the show for last year, but for 2023. But I got a load of people lined up for next year, just different stages. Keep it nice and fresh. A lot of debuts again next year, and some fucking great matches. So
fucking Moose though, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Moose is a good one, right?
Man, that's fucking huge. That is that's groundbreaking. Like fucking hell.
I'm thinking
I
in
think,
so many dudes are RCW. It's like I forgot Moose. Yeah, that's
Such a
also
big star. Sure, like I'm not just saying, he was on the fucking brink of going to WWE. He turned down the contract. He was a Vince guy, like. This is what, like a Vince guy. Vince loves Moose, like.
Yeah.
So this is telling you how big this guy is, and
Well, I hope Vince checks out Stone Richards, the Live the Pav brother.
yes.
I think something else we did last year is we mixed up a little bit in the roster perspective. So we brought down a couple of guys that hadn't worked with us before, like Sam, Renzo Rose.
Yeah.
We had Bittersweet Josh and whatnot as well in our last show. I know.
Yeah.
Fabulous Nicky's worked in Cork numerous times, and but like BDE and is another trios. Like if you're looking the way things are going here, we're building some trios and stuff as well. So who knows what the way is in the future? But I think mixing people up and bringing people down, and there's still some more people that are going to be coming down.
Yeah.
With Steve Savage coming back to Cork as well was a massive moment.
Huge,
Talking about moments. From a personal perspective, that was a really big moment for myself and himself.
My voice hasn't been the same since I reacted to Steve Savage.
Yeah, it was a great entrance, and Steve always puts in a great shift for us, in fairness. So,
it's good times. It's good times. Like we mentioned, obviously, we mentioned so many matches. We mentioned obviously Raven Creed, Raven O'Connor. For me, that's definitely standout of the year. The debuts, obviously Eric Young, Rio. There was so much happening. We mentioned the tag teams. You know what I mean? The X Division Championship. What did that sing song? Obviously, we mentioned at the start of the show. The sing song, obviously, the last show of the year. That was just iconic.
Yeah.
I think, and you know what I mean. You came over, hugged us. I think
Yeah,
everyone was emotional, and I think it just goes to show because I'm not really observant. I've got tunnel vision, but I just happened to fucking look around. I took it all in. I was like, I have time to look around, and everyone on the balcony. I don't know if you've seen that video. Everyone was hugging. Fucking everyone was just on a love buzz.
Yeah.
I'm all for that, and that's just telling you what was created. Because if you didn't book that show, that venue, that date, we wouldn't have been in that moment. Life is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? It's just mad.
No, it was a great moment. In fairness, I mean, like we started off RCW a year and a half ago now, and started off the first night with Sing Song, right? Then it's the second Sing Song, and then we're like, okay, well, we're going to probably listen to it every night. Then Richards ruined it all.
Yeah.
By not letting us do it anymore. But
well, to be fair, he is the saviour of RCW. I still have to air that out. But anyway,
fair enough. But Eric Young put a pay to that. Obviously not with the belt burn, but he was like, Eric Young just went ad-libbing, singing Jingle Bells was something that I will never forget.
Yeah.
But I think everyone got caught up in the emotion of it. I mean, it's not I don't know. Like loads of people have been saying to me, "We'll be back to Sing Song, Billy. We're back to Sing Song." It's like I know everyone likes it, but I think it's sparingly rather than all the time. It's probably the best way to go with it.
Yeah.
And Christmas is a special one, obviously, and it was a great way to finish the year. It was a great high to go out on.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to do that at every show. We did a Christmas song or a Christmas show at Christmas for the last 6 years, and never got to do it for different reasons. But I was like, we're fucking doing it this year.
Yeah.
You know.
And there was a show. I know I'm jumping. It's 2024. There'll be a show December.
Yeah, we've already booked. I think.
Yeah, so Christmas will happen. Obviously, that's something you love. Christmas time of year.
So November, December again. So there's March. Sorry, there's February. Then there's Good Friday. There's March.
Yeah.
Then there's June.
Yeah.
15th of June. Billy Bedlam's big birthday bash 2. I'm not calling the show that, but it is my
You
birthday.
should call it that.
No. I did it once, not doing it again. Then we got, I think it's early September, the 9th or something, and then November, December. Yeah. So that's 6 shows right now. Probably be some more.
Yeah.
And I like the November December show vibe.
It's a good time of the year, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good time. Yeah.
It's a good time of the year.
Kind of take a little bit of a breather during the summer. That portion of summer, but
hard,
I say that now and I'll end up doing a fucking super show in the summer. But
you do it in your sleep, like with the super show.
But I like to, if you notice the way the shows are all spread out, there's always an 8 or 9 week gap in between them. That's just for me, so I can fucking get my head.
When's that event centre opening in Mihal, man? For fuck's sake! I know, the event centre.
I know, yeah.
But no, it's fucking what a year it's been. It's yet again, I've immensely enjoyed every show this year. I'm not just saying that. I think for me, yet again, like, you know what I mean, I'm like a child at Christmas. Literally, when I get to go to these shows, you know what I mean, you can switch off. I can forget about my kids and just fucking enjoy myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, though? It's surreal for me. But like, man, I know you've enjoyed it all year. And yet again, we've got, you know what I mean, we have had so many big moments. Every match has been a big moment. There's not been one bad match on the card.
Yeah, exactly.
And every year, Tops was saying, like, how could he keep topping every show? Yeah. We got the announcement of the PAV, which was incredible, groundbreaking. We just had a big announcement there. We noticed, at least 6 shows next year. Oh man, we're in for a treat next year. And as you say, you know what I mean? It's just the fans have to get behind it because it's important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It really is.
I think like we saw Luke DePav our first night, we went close the second
Yeah.
night, and which was fucking great, even better achievement because number one, it was a Friday night before Christmas.
Yeah.
Very hard. It's a very hard draw.
Yeah.
And on a Friday as well, we were missing a lot of regulars, who just couldn't make it because it's a Friday. So we're hoping that they'll all come together again now for February.
Yeah.
I know the Good Friday show is going to be a big one
Always.
because Good Friday is always a great draw, and I know
Yeah.
the card as well. So it'll be, and then we're building off into the summer again. So
Yeah.
the fans, I just want to say, anyone who's listening to this, anyone who ever comes to the show, yourselves, thank you for everything because we were nothing without you guys. I know I say this from time to time as well at the end of the show. Obviously, we thank everyone that comes, but we are nothing without you guys. We've been an empty fucking ring, do you know? And we're nothing without doing stuff like this. So the support you give us from a promotion perspective is really appreciated as well by myself and all the rest of us. So just thank you, Phil. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Jar.
We appreciate
I
it
know.
as always, man.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Right.
we we absolutely love it. And guys, make sure look if you're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, like and share anything that like RCW put up. Make sure you like the page, follow on YouTube, subscribe.
By the merch.
Yeah, buy the
New
merch.
merch
The
coming,
merch is
new merch
unbelievable. And yet again, look, these shows are essential for Cork. It's the only thing we have in Cork that's good. I don't like going to, I love going to RCW. So, do you know what I mean? We have to make sure we support it.
Appreciate
make
that.
sure you're behind it. It's unique. If you've never been to a wrestling show, if you don't like wrestling, come.
come
Because
for
you
Santa,
will like
like,
it.
what are you doing?
You will like it. I met a guy at the last show and he said it was his first ever wrestling show. Mentioned John Cena. He said John Cena's a movie star. I goes, he was a wrestler once upon a time. Didn't know, but fucking at the end of the night, he said, when's the next show? I goes, look, it's going to be next year. He's going to come back. So
That's how you hook 'em, like.
it just goes, when you go, you're drawn in. And as you said, they're absolute athletes. You know what I mean? The entertainment's incredible.
And Moose.
And
Moose,
fucking
yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
Moose.
Yeah, I was going to say
That's incredible.
we
Ah.
should end this like as a sing song, but we can't due to copyright, and
Yeah.
also we need to be professional here at the
Yeah.
pack.
But there you go. When you're bringing someone like Moose to Cork, guys, you know what's ahead for 2024. And yet again, our Irish stars alone are incredible. We want to thank Billy yet again for his time. We're always honoured, Billy, to have you here. We're lucky to do these special shows a couple of times a year. And yet again, guys, RCW, check it out. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, on YouTube. Follow them. Check out the recent shows. They are up. They are available. And you won't regret it, guys. Yet again, this is the end of the year show. It's the last day of the year. And
Happy
I
New
wouldn't
Year.
want to spend it with anyone else, only Phil, Matt, and of course Billy.
You guys.
Guys, we'll catch you soon. February, bring it on. We'll have all the links for all the tickets and more on the way.
All right,
Thank
we'll
guys.
see you next year.
See you next year.
See you later, guys. Thank you.
See you.